This is a rather long video testing and analyzing the solid state replacement tubes made for Zenith Transoceanic and other Zenith radios and personal radios that use the 1-volt tubes. The video was originally started in October 2023, so I've been working on this for several months. And I took these radios out to the desert and I discovered a pretty significant issue with the solid state 1L6 replacement, which is severe mixer noise, like a hiss, at the top of the AM broadcast band. I brought the issue of the mixer noise up to the seller who makes these and sells them on eBay. I actually sent him a message of the hiss and mixer noise and brought that issue up to him, and he said he'd work on correcting it. Well, that was back in October of 2023, and he sent me a follow-up message saying he'd made some good progress, but he was still in the testing phase. And then I just didn't hear anything until, I don't know, late February of 24. So I sent him a message. I said, "How's it going?" He's like, "Oh, I got a revised tube out." And I'm like, okay, well, I did inform him that I was working on a video of this and I was holding off on the video to see if he could get the problem remedied. Well, he just never followed up on me with me. So I said, "Send me one." And he said, "Well, send me one of the ones you got back and I'll send you the revised one." And I'm like, well, dude, I'm making a video about these solid state tubes, so I just bought another one. I wasn't going to waste my time going back to the post office. And all I can say about this is, yeah, do I even have to say anything about it? If it was a Chinese company, they'd be eager to work with me to correct the problem before I gave them a questionable review of their product. Anyway, here's the replacement that I paid for. So now I'm now the proud owner of 3 of these 1L6s. So let's test this out. I hope you'll watch the whole video. I really hope you'll watch the whole video. Watch it at 2x speed to understand, especially before you buy any of these, because I test them in a whole bunch of radios. I test the 1R5. Let's see if this corrects the problem. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the mixer noise, and then we'll open this box and test this one out. So I'm in the city now, which is a little bit different, but we're going to look at the very top of the AM broadcast band. I'm using the tube, the actual vacuum tube right now.
Why shouldn't you go and buy? 廣播電台台灣之音，我係劉瑩，我係 William。
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune right here. So listen to the noise floor right there. Now I'm going to change to the solid state 1L6. Hear the difference?
A lot of people.
That waterfall. And it goes away at the bottom of the band. It goes away above about 1 megahertz.
Looking at me. Polycarps.
You can hear it's not down here. It's only at the top of the band.
I'm the apostle.
All right, let's open this one up and see what's different. Here's the quote-unquote updated one. They both say revision 6. I don't see anything different, but a lot of it's surface mount. Let's try it. Hey, here's the moment of truth right here.
Yes, I know.
does sound substantial. It does sound substantially less.
The Inglewood, California se une con esa.
Let me go back to the other tube, the real tube. No, the real tube is still quieter. And it's a lot better. It's much improved, but it's still not as good as the real tube. And where it really makes a difference is in low signal environments. And sort of as the shortwave band dies down and sunsets, as more and more stations go off the air, which is undeniable, it's happening. These radios, the value will be more in the AM broadcast band than the shortwave portion. So I don't know if I can totally recommend these solid state tubes. I think you're better just to go with the 1L6 to 1LA6 adapter and go with the Lochtel version. It performs really good. I mean, these radios perform really good, and the solid state tube is a great idea, but it just doesn't really get it at the top of the AM band. So much improved, but not great. For a better demonstration, I pulled the RF amp tube out and jumped the filament with a 30 ohm resistor, and you can really hear the mixer noise here. This is the original. Okay, let's try the revised one. We'll put it up right here.
You saw this. The conversation, but before we went on, 1 year same as cash financing, 310. Read another translation. Put that.
Run. A couple of people have been arrested at the Pike shopping area in Long Beach. A fight.
Much improved. Much improved. The only issue there is that one little bump of noise.
Virtual.
That one little bump there is all I see. Much improved. See if it corrects it on this radio, which is featured in this video. I have the RF amp turned around so it's out of circuit. I'm just using the filament. That sounds good. So it definitely looks like he corrected the problem. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that one back. I'm not happy with this kind of customer service, but I guess it is what it is, right? So he did correct the problem thanks to these videos. I'll take the credit for that. But I guess I'm going to have to ship it back to get a replacement. So it is what it is. Enjoy the video. This is a long one. It's a fun one. And remember that it was done in October of 2023. So solid state replacement vacuum tubes for the Zenith Transoceanic and other personal portable radios that use the 1 volt tubes the battery operated tube radios from that era. These are available on eBay, and today we're going to test them in this video. This is an example here of the Zenith Transoceanic radio. These would usually be used in and are meant for. This is kind of my camping radio. It's a little bit modified with a homemade power supply for the A battery, B battery. How this really came about was a previous video I made fighting with this thing, and I accidentally popped too much voltage into the filaments and blew a bunch of these tubes up when I was repairing it. Since then, I've done a few more repairs on the radio. This was broken, so I JB welded that back on. I still didn't fix the dial pointer. I did some replacement of resistors and capacitors. I replaced a lot of the out-of-spec resistors and leaky capacitors that are in here. Believe it or not, all of what you see still checks out, so we're not going to worry about that. We are going to run this on batteries. I could not get this to stop humming in the previous video. This is my homemade battery eliminator. This will take 9 to 12 volts and bring it up to about 200. And then I have some series dropping resistors here. And one modification that I usually do to these radios is I add a couple Zener diodes. These radios, both this radio and the Transoceanic, run on 9 volts and 90 volts. So all I've done here is paralleled a 9.1 volt and a 91 volt Zener diode just to protect from any over voltage from my battery eliminator. I'm using, these are 3.3 volts a piece. I'm using these to power everything. And what I've got is a couple dropping resistors there that get the filament supply right on 9 volts, or right a little bit under it. So I'm getting exactly 90 and 9 volts with this setup. So let's take a look at these solid state replacement tubes. These look homemade to me. I mean, look at this one, even still has a number on it, 6BH6. Like I said, these are not cheap, but the 1L6 is not cheap, is not a cheap tube anyway. So here's what we got. Two 1U4, and then the 1U4IF has a 10 kilohertz filter in it, ceramic filter. So I figure we try that. 3V4 is the audio output. 1S5 is, looks like it's just got a capacitor in it, but it's a detector, preamp detector. 1L6 is, of course, is your converter tube. This is a very sensitive, touchy tube. It's supposed to have the native one is supposed to have a short lifespan. 1U5, I don't know exactly what that is because this radio doesn't use that. And this, the 50A1, is used in the big full Transoceanic as like a ballast. So let's take a look at these. So here's a 1L6, and you can see if you look at the number there, it was originally a 6CB6. And it's a 1L6 revision number 6. It's even got a ferrite bead in it. And these look very homemade. They actually took, yeah, a regular tube envelope and cut it open. These are literally transistor-filled vacuum bulbs. That's exactly what these are. Fully legit transistor-filled. Well, they're probably not vacuum, but we can call them transistor-filled vacuum bulbs. So there's the 1L6. Here's the 1U4 revision 4. Used to be a 6 GM6. Wow, I like the construction. This is really nice. Okay, here's the 1U4 with the 10 kilohertz filter in it. And that must be the ceramic filter right there, that black box. Is that a date? 2013? I wonder if they're still making them. This is the 3V4. It's got a transistor there. Probably an FET. Boy, not a lot to this, is there? And they do have a resistor for the filament. And the filament on these is on pin 1 and 7, so you can see the resistor right there. And the resistor is the appropriate value to drop 1.4 volts at 50 milliamps. If we take a look at this one, you can see there's the resistor right there. Looks like it says Zebo on it. Z8RO. Here's a 1S5. Not a whole lot going on here. It's like a die. Oh, there's a transistor up in there. Okay. Look at the date on the capacitor, 0422. So someone must still be making these. I'm impressed. To cut the damn tube open and glue it back together, this is impressive. So this is the 50A1, which is like a ballast. There's a lot going on here. I'm not going to use this one. So this specific radio, which we'll focus on first, and what we'll do is we'll take this radio and the Transoceanic out to the desert and actually really try these tubes and give them these solid state replacements and really see how they work. But what we'll do is we'll power this up right now on batteries, and we'll just start substituting these one at a time. It's nighttime. I should be able to tune in at a DX station somewhere. We'll try the 1L6, the 3V4, the 1U4, and the 1S5. That's what this radio really uses. This uses a 1U4 RF, 1L6 converter, 1U4 IF, 3V4 audio output, and then the, was it the 1S5 as the detector first audio. These other two we'll just put aside. But I'm really curious to see, do they perform as nice as they look? And yeah, I know there's something, you know, not nostalgic and not pure about using a solid state replacement. But man, these things are delicate, and they're microphonic too. These are microphonic because they're directly heated cathode. So I would hope that transistors would not be microphonic. So let me get this set up, and then we'll start substituting. We'll see how they perform. Okay, I believe this is KTNN 660, Voice of the Navajo Nation, out of like Window Rock, New Mexico. It's clear across 2 states from me. I'm in Los Angeles, so this is DX at night. You will hear some whining or a high-pitched noise in the background. That's this. So KTNN plays a mixture of country and Navajo music, like traditional Native American, and I think a lot of the DJs actually speak Navajo. So let's listen for a few seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the battery eliminator, and we're going to swap out the 1L6 here. Okay. And this is our solid state 1L6. This is a very sensitive tube. A lot of radios are very finicky about this converter tube. So here we go. Holy crap, you're joking. Don't worry about that whine. That whine in the audio is just... I didn't even have to retune the station. You're joking. No way. You hear that whine is probably just interference from the oscillator in here. Come on, start, you stupid thing. And the ticking is coming from the camera. Okay, that's impressive. That is really impressive. That it could be so damn close. Okay, let's try a 1U4. Okay, let's listen again. Okay, let's try this. Starting to look a little kooky, isn't it? Wow, that's working better. Again, the tick, 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 that's the camera. This is a really weak station here. Okay, let's do this. Let's try this 1U4 for the IF, and then we'll try the one with the 10 kilohertz filter. I would expect that to kill the gain a few dB. Come on, get it in the hole, dude. Okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah, the battery eliminator is putting out a little noise. Okay, let's try the 1U4 with the 10 kilohertz filter in it. I don't know really what difference that would make. Maybe it would help on the shortwave radio a little bit, but on this just... Okay, this is the one with the filter. Okay, that's what the 10 kilohertz filter. It does sound a little quieter. Wow, I'm impressed. Let's try the 3V4. Let's try the 3V4 here. I'm blown away. I'm really impressed here. Okay, here's the 3V4. Wow. Yeah, that power supply is putting out a lot of noise. Let's try the, I guess I could go buy 10 9-volt batteries. Let's try the 1S5. Wow, that's a lot louder. Wow. Now keep in mind this station is 1,000 miles from me and I'm inside. Wow. Wow.
So expensive and it's at a point is that it is declining in availability, which by extension impacts affordability. And if you have these businesses which may come in and remove permanent housing for the purpose of temporary housing or recreational housing in the sense of motels and hotels, then you're just exacerbating the problem. And here, the LA City Council voted 14-0 to move forward with what is called the Responsible Hotel Ordinance. And it was co-authored by Council President Paul Krikorian.
Again, ignore all the groaning and whining noises. Those are all from this thing. I mean, you can try and filter this stuff as good as you can, and it just is never as pure as a battery or the AC line. But that's it. That's running on all solid state replacement tubes. I'm amazed. I really am amazed. Somebody who did this, whoever built these, really knew what the F they were doing because they got it right.
Required to obtain a police permit for operation. And for me, it's all about the housing. For it's called on
Yeah, that has a lot more power than the standard 3V4.
If we have to address homelessness on some level, or at least make it less likely that people will be pushed out of permanent housing in this
broadcast and knock out power grids. They can force airlines to reroute flights away from the North Pole to avoid dangerous levels of radiation. And they can produce displays of the northern lights in places that seldom see them. The sun is getting more active these days, building toward the peak of its magnetic cycle in a couple of years. A lot of X-flares in our future. For the University of Texas at Austin, I think it'll go by pretty quickly.
Number 2. For you, over a million people.
A couple of family members, as you know, Father Shupa wrote this book in 1883, and therefore it seems to be
This thing is not in very good shape. The speaker's rattling. I mean, I resurrected it, but it's not great.
I can remember experiencing such pain when a son.
What we're going to do is we're going to try these in the real Transoceanic out in the desert. We'll try it on shortwave. We'll try it on higher frequencies. But so far I'm impressed because it doesn't seem like the alignment's been affected at all. These seem like a perfect match to the tubes, to the actual real original tubes. I'm really surprised. This is what we need, a radio station that plays this on AM. EDM. This is what we need, an EDM AM radio station. Come on, LA, step it up, man. Some big rich guy. Let's get going here. Actually, I think this is the Bollywood station.
Lots of homeowners like you calling about hot water.
¿Cuántos no somos los que escuchan esta televisora? Bueno. Hey, Stinky's router chart is $2 to diagnose our last water heater.
I know, a lot of clients have told me that.
One thing I forgot to check, which is if I go with the complete set of the solid state tubes, I should be able to ditch the filament supply and just go with the 90 volts. So that's all I have right now. I do not have the red wire connected, which is the 9 volts. I'm just going in with the voltage there. So let's see. Pretty cheesy setup, I know. Yeah.
Was a result of the recent fire under the 10 freeway that destroyed a storage lot owned by the state and damaged a portion of the freeway.
Let's see review.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger has died. According to his consulting firm, he was 100 years of age.
Hell yes!
Foreign policy as the United States extricated itself from Vietnam and broke down barriers with China. He exerted uncommon influence on global affairs under Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, earning both harsh criticism and the Nobel Peace Prize. The German-born diplomat got the U.S. out of Vietnam after bloody, costly years of delay and into China in a sudden burst of secret diplomacy. Decades later, his name still provokes impassioned debate over foreign policy actions long past. He stands among the 20th century's commanding figures in U.S. foreign policy. Once again, former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger has died at the age of 100. A U.S. Navy warship has shot down a drone launched by Houthis from Yemen.
The U.S. military.
Well, just 3 or 4 more of them to go, and the world would probably be a better place. I'm not going to start naming names, but boy, that's probably some good news. Not that he had anyway.
Heading towards the Carney, which was escorting other ships at the time. There were no injuries or damage to the ships, but it's the latest in a
So this should be KTNN. I think KTNN carries Town Hall.
After an Iranian drone flew
And again, we're running with no filament supply.
the Eisenhower aircraft carrier as it was conducting flight operations in international waters. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
All right, headed out to somewhere to do some testing on radios we restored out in a low signal rural environment. Look at this, they got all of these things locked down, presumably to keep the price up. It's very windy. I'm, So it's not that, it's they got to keep the price up. Yeah, I know I need to clean the windshield. I'll do that eventually. Yes, I know. That's Cali though. So these over here are running, but all of these are locked down. Silicone fluffer debibilizer. Ooh. Tricoin menu fluffer. Ooh. I want uranium. I would think that's Cinnabar. Welcome to beautiful Arizona. You should recognize that cactus right there. That's the saguaro cactus, at least sort of a saguaro cactus. But anyway, who's ready to do some testing of solid state vacuum tubes? Take you on a little walk here. I am right on the fringe of cellular service, and there's no power lines for probably 30 miles. And I'm actually out this way, or to drop off rather, a TV that you might have seen a video on, a Zenith TV. We got it all packed up nice here, so it's on its way to be dropped off. So let's do some radio. I think maybe down here in the shade will be a good place to set up the table, sort of out of visuals in case anyone drives by. Always neat to see how fast things can change with time. Years ago I bought this scarf because these were like 5 points for your bug out bag, and you know, great sun shield for hiking and backpacking. And well, if you've been paying attention to anything, this is probably being fully legit. This has probably become very valuable recently. And yeah, just interesting how fast symbolism and things can change with time. So this is one of those. So I'm getting set up here. Let's see, we need batteries, we need radios, we need tubes. We're going to do some solid state stuff. Wouldn't this be a nice view to have from your workbench? Anyway, let's go over what we got here. Got our solid state tubes. We have our tiny spectrum analyzer. We'll be using this as a signal generator for its signal generator function. Have our lithium iron phosphate cells that we'll use for the filament. We have these are lithium ion. These are the 4.2 volt ones. These are 3.3 volts. We'll use this probably set up as 12 volts to run my battery eliminator in the Transoceanic. Then for the Zenith flip tip, dip flip, whatever this thing is called, instead of the battery eliminator, I went and picked up, so we'll daisy chain, put in series 10 of these or 9 of them to come up close for low drain devices. I'm short. I should have brought 4 clip leads. And then we have our cheezoid meter here. And we have the GC 8282, which I hope this is 100 thousandths hex. So we can get into these IF cans and tweaky. Do an IF alignment on this set because we haven't done that. So we're going to do that right here. All right, let me get this hooked up with the tubes and let's see what we get out here and how it performs. 9 Pro Cell 9 volts, 86.1 volts. The noise floor is so low out here. I'm talking about the audio noise floor. I don't know about the RF noise floor. But there's no sound out here. All I hear is my hearing damage, years of loud music. So here we go. See if we can disturb the peace here. You know, I heard this crackling back at home, and it almost sounds like silver mica disease.
Get back to Austin with the trophy, soak it in, and then, kind of watch the game.
Of course, the dick, that's the camera.
We're Big 12 champions, and that's kind of our goal was at the beginning of the season.
Because of how your defense performed against Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon II.
Put the bottom back on. Oh, yeah. You can tell that's a long way away. That's wide open. There are all these music stations on AM because I'm not in LA. No KNX, though.
No good. Put a whistle and a foul going to be called.
Probably getting some of these stations out of Mexico because about 90 miles that way is the border. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's start substituting. Let's just start substituting. So let's see, how do I want to do this? Well, that woke it up. Okay, let's just start switching them. We'll just start from the beginning. We'll take the RF amp first. And we'll switch it out for the 1U4 solid state. Okay.
Replay Timeless Variety. I'm Brenda Catalina, and a couple of things going on. First off, the fender bender right in front of the swap meet on Palo Verde, in front of the Tanque Verde swap meet there. So watch out for slowing right there. Also an accident at Broadway but that's about it. It's been relatively quiet today, and I, for one, appreciate that. Glad to hear nobody's out there running each other over too bad. Tonight's weather, a low of 60, looking for high today of 62. Tonight's
Waiting for a station ID here.
thinking about covering up things you
Tucson, Arizona. Okay, we'll do the 1L6 here. Tucson is quite a ways away. All right, 1L6. I'm probably repeating myself because I did this earlier in the video, but okay, 1L6 converter tube. Okay, something smells like it's burning. 1L6, we'll do the 1L6 with the 10 kilohertz filter, crystal filter in it. Okay, that seems like it might have quieted it down a little bit, which it probably would. And if the IF is not aligned perfectly, that would make a big difference. Actually, it shifted the tuning. Ooh, listen to how it's got this sharp cutoff now, and it's got that hollow sound when I tune. Listen. That definitely narrowed up the IF band pass, and it shifted it so that there's a hard cut on one side. So the IF needs to be aligned. We'll do that next. Okay, we'll do the 3V4 next. Oh, what am I doing here? Jeez, idiot. Good thing I have Zener diodes on this. Well, I'm also only have 86 volts here. Okay. This is the microphonic one right here, the 1S5. So we'll do the solid state 1S5. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but we're thoroughly testing these, and I know everybody's probably waiting for that because that's a much more popular radio, but I don't know, skip ahead. But we are going to do an IF alignment on this with the micro SA. No, what'd I do wrong? These are static sensitive. I hope I didn't fry it. Let's go back to the original. They are FETs. They have FETs, F-E-Ts in them. Oh, wait. That's That's a 1U5. Yeah, this is the 1S5. I hope I didn't damage that by putting the wrong tube in. Crap. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road is right. One S5. Now I should be... Boy, that's a trip how that crystal filter creates walls on the tuning. I mean, there's literally walls on the sides of the station. Wow. That makes the selectivity, all right, say it again, slow down. That makes the selectivity incredible. Wow. All that noise is coming from this camera. Wow. All right. Tiny spectrum analyzer with subhuman sticker. Let's see. All one take. Switch to low out. Okay, here we go. Frequency 455 kilohertz. 455 kilohertz modulation. AM. Frequency 1000 hertz. Okay. Let's see where our level here is. No. Level 455, low out, on. Modulation AM 30%. See how hot this thing will go. It's probably at -7 dB. So we'll just... I hear it there. What is all this noise from? All this... Let me figure that out. All this... think a lot of it's from the camera. I'm going to ditch the camera. Hold on. I don't know. We're just going to have to do our best. Something here is emitting a bunch of noise. What I'm doing is I'm adjusting it for maximum 1 kilohertz. Ah, crap. You know what? Let me get rid of this thing with the crystal filter in it and align it with just the regular 1U4. All the noise, I don't understand what all this noise is about. Sounds about as loud as I can get it. I don't remember all this noise with the regular tubes. It's not interference from anything here. I don't know, where's all this noise coming from all of a sudden? Is it the solid state tubes? I'm going to switch back. Let's find out. Well, it's something with the solid state 1U4 because it doesn't do it with the tube one, and it wasn't doing it with the solid state one a while ago. Something with the 1L6. Okay, well, if we put this right by the RF tube, I don't understand this. That 1L6 was not doing that. It was not doing this a minute ago. It's like it's self-oscillating or something. Is this it? I don't know. It was working at the start of the video. I don't know what the hell happened. It wasn't doing this. It's not doing it at the bottom of the band, it's only doing it at the top of the band.
Hey, can I show you my notes for the 9 a.m. with Mike?
Now let's go to the Transoceanic. On the top part of the band with the solid state 1L6, there's a whole bunch of noise. I'm going to switch back to the tube. Listen to this for a minute. That's why you test them out here in the rural areas, because you cannot tell in the city.
Claudio Villegas. No olviden sintonizarnos este domingo 26 de noviembre a las 10 de la noche. Sus amigos Leonora y Chan los esperan.
Yeah, there's no contest. The signal to noise ratio on the actual real 1L6 is, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong here, but it's like unusable. But it quiets down at the bottom of the band. All right, let's go to the Transoceanic. I hope I didn't fry that thing somehow, because I don't remember it being that bad. All right, in this set right now, I'm using the 1L6 to 1LA6 Loctal adapter. So, and this is using I made this, it's a battery eliminator. So this is 12 up to 90. And then I have resistors here to get the voltage right. I used to use this radio a lot. A little note about shortwave. Shortwave has sort of been dying, unfortunately, and I think about a year ago we lost that shortwave music station that actually had DJs that played classic rock and stuff. And recently, Alex Jones pulled out of WWCR, and WWCR has 4 100 kilowatt transmitters, and they're kind of just what you would think of as old school shortwave, with kind of the ranting crusader kind of guy, you know, just that. But still, it's declining, which you know, Alex Jones, I believe, was buying 8 hours a day, and is WWCR going to survive without that income? I don't know. So okay. So I'm going to switch from the one LA6 to the solid state. That's the one LA6 adapter. I covered that in the last video. So let's switch to... It's turning into a freaking chaotic mess. We'll switch, and again, I probably should not be treating these like this because these are static sensitive, and I'm really, where did the 1L6 go? I don't think this is a static mat, but it should probably be, okay, this is the solid state. Okay, there's the solid state. Damn, it's louder. Well, it doesn't seem to have that oscillating noise here.
No one, right? It goes back to the rankings comment from Tommy.
Wow, that woke it up. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. So it starts oscillating or something above a certain frequency on this set too. I don't know. Someone want to decode some code? Guy's hauling ass, man. See, 16 meters. 17.9 megahertz. $19. Come on. So what happens when you don't use them anymore? The thing gets a little crispy. Okay, that's dead. It's working on 25 meters. Try 13 meters, 31 meters. Yeah. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Listen to this guy. Okay, there's WWV, 10 megahertz. Okay, I'm not going to move anything. So it's weird that oscillation only seems to be on the top of the AM broadcast band. I heard it for a second. Maybe my battery's getting a little bit too low. No, it should be working. Well, it seems like the solid state 1L6 is working better than the 1LA6 on the higher frequencies on the transoceanic. It's just this part of the AM band, it starts to get very noisy. I don't understand that. I mean, if you listen to the broadcast band here.
Yeah, I think the 49 healthy are the best team. I think Baltimore's next. And then I think Philadelphia's after that. And then I think there's a drop-off.
You do? Oh, no.
Whoever you want to put in. I don't think Dallas can go to the Super Bowl. I just don't think they can beat both these teams on the road, especially San Francisco. Miami, the Chiefs, whoever else you want. Jacksonville, you could throw into the conversation.
I have Dallas in the space. I don't think Philly's one of those. Now, to the point that we're talking about here, Mike McCarthy's generally not.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to solid state here, and you're probably going to hear the horrible oscillation. Could probably use that little spectrum analyzer to actually look at it. Okay, back to the solid state.
Medical Center, Foothills Medical Plaza, offering new and expanded services.
Leading to missile.
Yeah, it just starts going crazy.
Some profitability.
It starts going crazy about 1 megahertz. Okay, here's 2 to 4. What's interesting is it's not going crazy there. 4 to 8. More code. So one thing that's become sort of popular out in rural areas like this, out in the middle of the Western desert, is guys will take a solar panel and an ammo can with a radio in it and a long wire antenna, and they have it all set up to basically, it's a beacon, and they'll just like hike up, hike out 10 miles and just hide it somewhere. And it's on HF, and it just pumps out code of the weather and the time of day or something like that, like a call sign. And they're all over out here in the Mojave Desert. And like I said, a lot of them are just this, and they're usually right in this area around a color burst crystal. They use like off the shelf, computer clock crystals for them. $16 meters. The sideband. So yeah, we got a problem with that solid state 1L6. It's a little bit disappointing. Here I was thinking at the beginning of the video it was absolutely perfect. And I guess if you only watched the first part of the video, you walked away with a really false, reality of what this thing is. And I was super impressed, and I'm still very impressed, but obviously something's just a little bit off to where it oscillates above 1 megahertz on the broadcast band. I don't get it. That should be easy to figure out. That's for whoever the genius that built these solid state tubes, and I will say they are a genius. They just missed one little thing. Dancing Queen.
Regresamos a los refritos de la reina, inglés-español, con la voz que enamora, Armida Partida.
Oh, yeah.
WhatsApp de cabina, las favoritas de la Years, 203-1647.
So there's a lot of stations like this. I'm pretty close to the border. There's a lot of stations that actually play like good music coming out of Mexico on AM. It's really sad that we don't get that where I'm at.
Bueno, dice un hola, pero no sé quién es. Buenas tardes, Armida Partida Reina en la radio, la voz que enamora, dice por acá.
Oh, yeah. Little AM Gold, FM Light. We don't talk anymore. It's so funny that we don't talk anymore. How we don't talk anymore. Maybe I'll put the crystal filter in this one. Yeah, here's another Mexican station playing like awesome.
de lote número 10, Colonia Rivera Compuertas, Mexicali, Baja California. Potencia máxima autorizada por el gobierno federal de 10.000 watts. Programación y potencia se combinan para captar mayor audiencia en ambas Californias. Desde 1947 transmite XED, La Grande, 1050 AM, 76 años de tradición. La estación que llegó para quedarse.
Yeah, I got just garbage in LA. It's all just garbage. Out here, it's worth having an AM radio, you know? Come on. It's a crystal filter one. I hope that's the IF. Wow, that tightens that up. It actually gets rid of some of the static too. But it makes the top part of the band unusable.
Regresamos a los refritos de la reina, inglés-español, con la voz.
García Castillo. Oh, mi querido.
Crystal filter is impressive. I think I'll go put the rest of the solid state ones in this thing. Well, that made it a hell of a lot louder. What the hell is this? How the hell? Guess I bumped that wire up on top of the tuning cap when I was putting the tubes in. Well, the definitely has a lot more power than the solid state has a lot more power than the regular 3v4.
Regresamos a los refritos de la reina, inglés-español, con la voz que enamora, Armida Partida. WhatsApp de cabina, las favoritas del ayer, 203.
This station's got some good music. God, here's the Spanish. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're playing the English version and the Spanish version. So the one we were hearing last time was, I think, If You've Ever Seen the Rain by CCR. And this is the Spanish version.
Que nos escuchen en el centro de California, muchas gracias, que se comuniquen.
You always find the most interesting radio stations out here, you know? Anyway, well, I'm impressed with the crystal filter. I'm impressed with the 3v4. I'm sort of impressed with all of them, but I have to say I'm a little disappointed with the 1L6. If they just iron out that problem with the oscillation at the top of the broadcast band, I think it'll be a winner. I really do. Now we're going to go into like some traditional Mexican music or something. What is this? Just listen to the crystal filter. Listen to it. I'm going to tune from side to side. I mean, that really tightens the IF up. That really tightens it up. Well, I guess to summarize here and wrap this up, I'm gonna check out, do a separate video on some of these transistor radios that we restored on the channel previously and compare them, because we got some really great radio stations out here. So I guess to summarize, I went back and looked when I was at home in Los Angeles and I was listening to 660 KTNN. And of course, I was comparing the tubes on the bottom of the band where the problem of the oscillation doesn't show up. So, in summary, I'm impressed with the solid state tubes, except the 1L6 oscillates above 1 megahertz on the AM broadcast band on two different radios. So, yeah, that's whatever. I mean, you make your own decision on that. But anyway, that's a look at these solid state 1-volt replacement tubes off of eBay. And I did email the seller and ask for a 1R5, and he said he could make some. I think I need to talk to him some more. So hopefully if we get a 1R5, we could do a different type, like an RCA personal radio or some other personal radio that uses these 1-volt tubes. This just sounds creepy. It's estranged by Guns N' Roses. Out here in the sunset. Except it's gone now. Okay, what are you? I see you. I see you looking at me. I see. Can't hide, man. Those eyes light right up. Look at that. Hello. Is it a little fox? This is a trip, man. There's like eyes all over the place. I keep seeing them pop up in here in the bushes. I need that thermal imaging. I didn't bring that. That would disclose all of the heat sources looking at me.
Yardigi Community Courtyard, December 20th to December 30th. The last time to get coal is December 16, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. January 3rd, Wednesday, 2024. You can start getting coal again. 505-258-7782. Now to get along, 505-258-7782. Steamboat, Arizona. Steamboat, Arizona. 928-613-8769. Now to get along, but these 928-613-8769.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome.
Oh yes, irritable bowel syndrome.
What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same.
You should take Skyrizi.
By talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzest.
Ooh, Linzest. Ooh, more complete bowel movements. Just what you want to think about when you're out here, right? Oh yes, definitely give Linzest to your toddler.
Imagine what could relieve from IBS mean for you. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzest. Learn more.
Say yes to Linzest.
.com, brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
The voice of the noble nation.
Back home, and we're going to do some more testing. I acquired another solid state 1L6, and I've been in contact with the maker / seller of these solid state tubes, and he's on a whole different level. I'm just sort of a stupid repair guy, and I mentioned the problem, and he seems to understand and was talking about the Q of the oscillator coil and all this stuff. So I'm looking forward to hopefully working with him and resolving this noise issue on the upper part of the broadcast band, because I think these are completely awesome. It's just, I may have discovered one little shortcoming. So let's do this. Let's fire the radio back up, and I'm going to do something here you're not supposed to do. I'm going to hot swap these tubes. And the reason why I can do that is because I have Zener diodes here limiting the voltage, and I pretty much have the filter capacitor out of circuit because I'm running on batteries. All the filtering is done in here, and of course the batteries are pure DC. So let's fire this up with the 1L6.
Are you waking up in the morning with sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600.
Okay, once again, I can do this, but you can't. Don't hot swap 1-volt tubes. We're also going to try the 1R5. A comment was posted on the previous video that if you remove or cut or delete pin 5, the 1R5 might work. So we're going to try that. So what I'm going to do, because the filament's on pin 1 and 7, I'm going to flip this tube around. This is the RF amp. I'm going to flip it around because these are in series. If it'll let me do this. This will essentially... So that essentially gets the RF amp out of circuit, but leaves the filament in circuit.
Makes it easy. Sweeper, you dry lock hairs like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone. All thanks to Swiffer.
So of course, the further up this goes, the higher in the band we are. So that's increasing. Okay, the volume's wide open. So that's at the top of the band. Okay, so let's go down.
3, 4.
Okay, I'm going to swap to this. Okay, going to the solid state 1L6. You can see the performance there is exactly the same.
Misguided read.
Let me talk about. Just launch the Fixco app. Sign up and
you can see where the noise starts right here. They need to get that sorted out.
Maybe in their waning moments of these hunger strikers just before they died, they had a moment of clarity by God's grace, and they realized
Okay, let's do this.
the sin that they had committed, and they repented of it, and they were saved. That's entirely possible.
Yes, it's entirely possible. Okay, this is the replacement 1L6.
People who are definitely trying to do something good, even if the way they went about it might have been misguided.
They get trouble for $100.
Okay, we'll go back to the actual tube 1L6.
Now, Monty, like I talked about, and then you'll start to see some slowing in Montclair.
It's undeniable. There's a problem here. Okay, let's try the 1R5. I'm going to get underneath and disconnect. I'm going to get underneath while I can flip this back around, right? We've confirmed the noise on both tubes.
The time that goes down scopes. All right. You know what my plan is?
Call my dad tonight.
I think I'm starting to wear the tube sockets.
Maybe I'll even do that as a show bit, Chris. Maybe I should.
Okay, let me disconnect the pin 5. Yeah, I've just disconnected pin 5 right here. All right, now we're powered up and there's nothing. So I'll hot swap to the 1R5. We'll see if it works. Well,
hearing her baby's heartbeat on a free ultrasound, she chose life.
Where mother looks at the child, there's 5 years old today.
Executive Vice President. I didn't ask him, Patrick, to tell you the truth. I didn't question it. I just reflected.
Well, here's why I'm pressing you on this point for this reason. It's possible that he did grant you cash in 10 days or less. Go to...
well, the 1R5 works, but it's seriously lacking in sensitivity. Let me try and see if it's an oscillator offset. See if this...
Still got to win this game. You're right. Those have been the two best players in the tournament so far.
I've got this one in the oven already.
You are out of your mind. Would you stay up all night gambling or something? Both free throws good. Laker lead is 12. Here's Zion. 10-footer in the lane. Good.
Let's talk about me. All things crime, life, mystery, and fun.
Are aliens real? Based on everything I've learned, I think that the government knows something. I don't know if aliens are real, but I think there's something out there that they know.
Listen to Talking to Death on the Ivy. And he's...
More aliens equal more flavor. Yeah, you know, the tracking is different of the 1R5. It's a whole different tube. It works, and had I known that, we wouldn't have spent all that time in the first video. But anyway, the 1R5 works with pin 5 disconnected. That is a true statement, but it doesn't work well. It's not the right tube. I mean, in an emergency, I guess it would work if there's such a thing as an emergency with an AM radio. All right, good. So we're still where we are because that's where we are when we go there. So I'm going to wait back to hear from the maker of the solid state 1L6 because this is such a totally awesome idea that I hope we can work out this hissing noise issue. I mean, maybe all it needs is more ferrite beads. Who knows? Or maybe would be possible to add a resistor or something to the chassis to help quiet that down. I think it's an oscillation. Maybe we'll take a look at it on the scope, but if we could sort this out, this is just great because you saw how good these radios perform out in the wild. One thing I've noticed with the solid state replacement is the signal is much stronger. The oscillator is much higher level. Like, look at this. This is on KNX, so 552 millivolts peak to peak. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the actual tube. This is the actual tube, 180 millivolts. So the solid state is over twice as strong of an oscillator. Maybe cutting that back would get rid of the noise. 1R5 came in, like I mentioned earlier. I asked the seller if he could make a couple of these, and he made them. So here they are. Let's get this out and take a closer look at it. But the 1R5 is, of course, the other converter. This is a solid state version. And this radio here uses a 1R5. So we're going to try it. I'm curious to see if we get the noise. First, we need to get this radio to work. I hope hope it does work. Let's take a look at this. Well, the 1L6 is on the right. So it looks like it's the same. It looks maybe, yeah, those components are just moved around. Looks like it's the same as the 1L6, which it would be, just different connections. Now the 1R5 is on the right, 1L6 on the left. Looks like the same board, just with some changes. All right, let's try and get this hooked up to the battery eliminator. Hopefully it works. Well, I got 67 volts going to it from this, and 3.3 volts going to it from this, and that's what it says here. And it's pretty dead. 3 volt A battery and 67.5 B battery, and I do get a little scratchy when but there's no activity. I'd like this to work. Yeah, we may have had some success here. I cleaned these tube pins in the socket. Come on. Come on, just work long enough for me to try this out. Please? Or is this a silver mica issue? Okay, let me keep fighting. Okay, well, I just plugged the 1R5 in just to try it, and it seems to be working.
비명계는 철새 정치인이 할 말이냐는 식으로 받아쳤습니다.
Les explican qué hacer para proteger su salud.
Very poor sensitivity. What this radio was is this was like a portable thing. What you would do is you would slide this onto the side of a clock radio, and you do that and plug it into the side of a clock radio power supply. These were like little portable slash, convertible is what they called it. You could use it on the line, or you could use it on its own internal batteries. This is not a very good test, though.
Esta Navidad sea un recordatorio de la gracia. Feliz Navidad.
This could have bad tubes in it.
Context for this is a surge of anti-Semitism.
Wow, I put the solid state 3V4 in there, the solid state audio output, and this thing cranks now.
Of anti-Semitic incidents around our country. A 330.
This thing must have weak tubes in it. I mean, we know it definitely had batteries in it from all the corrosion. Let me change the rest of them. It's bad tubes. Okay, well, it's got the full complement of solid-state tubes in it. I'm not even running it on the battery for the filaments. And it's not behaving quite right. I mean, it could be an alignment issue, but listen.
It wasn't like I thought. And she had some story about an angel appealing to her, but I was...
영주권 문호가 일제히 진정됐습니다. 국무부가 발표한 내년 1월
Seems like it doesn't like the IF amp, and that's not the IF amp with the filter in it. I went back to the non-solid state 1U4 IF amp, and it cleaned it up.
Corazón convertido. Entonces. Vemos la historia de.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Angel.
Oh, and they're on the.
Indictments are politically motivated. They were absolutely choreographed. They related to things that happened 2 or 3 years ago, and the Democrats lay in the weeds.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the one with the filter in it. The 1U4 with the filter. Okay, it absolutely hates this tube. This is the 1U4 with the 10 kilohertz filter. And maybe the issue is the IF alignment is way off in this. This could very well have silver mica disease. It is a General Electric radio. But listen to this. Oh, we're going to do microphonic with solid state tubes, huh? Really?
Corel, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
641.
Yeah, I wonder if the IF alignment is way off in this thing. And that's why I don't know if I want to try and tweak that or not. Because if the 10 kilohertz filter, if the IF is way off, I wonder if it's 465. No, it says it's 455 here. Very well could be that somebody just, during the life of this thing, that somebody just peaked. Oh, shut up. Somebody just peaked these transformers for maximum reception, and you can't do that with a crystal filter. Wonder if it's worth trying to do an IF alignment on, because it's, I think you have to get to these from the bottom to get to the bottom core. See if we can get a feel for this. If it's off. No, I would say it's right on. So this radio does not like the solid state 1U4. I guess maybe I'm just expecting too much. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Definitely likes the other tubes. I mean, the sensitivity and sound quality is good with no hiss from the 1R5.
계속 맞추려고 있다고 말했습니다. Nuclear Evening News. And it was there on the 8th day that I had the Google, Spotify
program.
Oh yeah, rock my world, baby. La Maxima.
More and more by getting Catholics who would come into the lodge, and Protestants and others, for example.
But that's not how the
6-day forecast. Visit Mancini.
KCBS is out of the Bay Area.
Here's KPIX 5's Paul Hagan.
Wonder if I can get 660 here. KTNN.
Today turned into a nice day once that dense fog this morning finally dissipated. We're not going to see nearly as much of that fog developing tonight into Wednesday morning, but there's still going to be some patchy fog for the morning commute. That will dissipate more quickly, and temperatures are going to warm back up to about 3 to 5 degrees above average, mostly in the low to mid-60s by Wednesday afternoon. Similar temperatures again Thursday and Friday, just a few passing clouds from time to time. The warmest day. Playlist and
Okay, that should be KTNN.
TJ Hall.
Nothing there. This is not a DXer. Wow, they even give you a little tweaky hole here to get to the screw. Except the handle is in the way. Well, that killed it. Let's try that again. Well, can't quite get it. Oh, wow. Listen to who's back.
Como error es el que haya tenido de secretario del ayuntamiento a un panista de cepa, el señor Miguel Ángel buscando, sí, ¿no? Sí, bueno, como salga de la campaña de Kiko Vega y después secretario particular. El error es así, o sea, y no nomás tiene a Bujanda, tiene a varios panistas ahí, incluso en su gabinete. Yo no sé con qué cara o con qué calidad moral la alcaldesa se pone a criticar esto, ¿no? Aunque de hecho es criticable, por supuesto. Jorge Ramos en el verde buscando una posición política, claro que es criticable, pero por parte de la alcaldesa.
Of course, there's DX coming in over the top of her right now.
Start with Sequel Nights.
캘리포니아 가든 그로브
.org. When you call us at 1-877-OPEN-360.
Yeah.
And edibles.
Said I'm coming with you. And so my dad and I, it was 2 hours later after he sent this text.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Doesn't like the solid state 1U4. Likes everybody else, though. So what it sounds like with the solid state 1U4 is that it's overloading. Like it's just too much gain for it. I mean, it seems it works okay. See, it can't, it's like it can't handle it. It's like it makes it hypersensitive. I wonder if we cut the voltage down a little bit.
The issue of retail theft at our KNX News Town Hall, smashing, grabbing, stealing the season. Charges filed on a pair of recent anti-Semitic hate crimes. CBS News is next. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Staples.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Ukraine. Kyiv's mayor says 12 people have been injured at a children's hospital damaged by destroyed Russian missiles. It comes just hours after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was at the White House asking for billions of dollars in new military
Oh, of course. No coincidence there.
CBS's Skylar Henry reports.
With the second anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine fast approaching, President Biden is urging Congress to approve more aid to Ukraine in its fight against Russia.
Ukraine will emerge from this war.
Yeah, right.
Proud, free, and firmly rooted in the West, unless we walk away.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yep. You just keep dumping money in there.
More funding as he met with the president and
이어지고 있고요.
또 올해 10월달에
Presentó para él eso.
Las cosas viejas ya se fueron, hombre, son nuevas criaturas, man.
Well, I'm impressed with the 1R5 on this one, but the 1U4, I just think it's too much gain for this radio. I mean, that's the volume turned all the way down. I think they just have too much gain for this little crappy radio. We'll have to try them in another radio in the future, and if I hear anything back on the 1L6 and the noise, I'll put it in this video. If I don't hear back from the maker of these things before it's time to release the video, if there's an update, if he comes up with a solution, I'll definitely release another video, saying, hey, we got this thing corrected. But this is as where it stands right now. So it's a long one. Back to the Zenith with the noise issue on the solid state 1L6. I talked to the maker/seller of these tubes, and I asked him if the 1R5 might work in this set with pin 5 disconnected. And he said, yes, it should. So we are going to try it. I hope I don't fry the tube. I've also flipped this one around so we don't have any front end. So here we go. Power this thing up on the battery eliminator that squeals. Oh, come on. And it sounds like it's working, and it sounds like there's noise.
Happy hour and more with the Ramsey Network.
Security of a fixed rate mortgage. Your rate can never be
multiple times while he was on an E-line.
So the same exact thing, which is really no surprise because the circuit board inside the 1R5 looks exactly the same as the 1L6. It's probably just configured a little bit different, but it's a little weird how there was no hiss on the GE radio, no noise on that radio. I mean, it's actually pretty sensitive there without the RF amp in. Let's put the RF amp in. It'll probably really...
We thank you for hearing our prayers. I know you hear us. I know you see us. This mirror package 660 passed. That's 888-6 is a paid non-client promoter participant. 안녕하세요. 박찬호입니다. The Bible story.
Let's see if we can get the "This is a test woman." So in order to get the "This is a test woman," we got to go all the way up and then unscrew this to... Should be about right there. Maybe we better go to the original 1L6 because that'll get well.
Politico shows trouble. Since black voters were... According to Pew, 92% of black voters cast their ballots for Biden. Vote that 17% of black voters they plan to vote for Trump, who's currently the frontrunner for the GOP nomination. Only 2 in 3 said they would vote for Biden. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is firing back.
Weird, I don't hear her tonight.
The cost of the crisis who is black is hoping cuts will be...
Yeah, don't hear it tonight. It's up above.
The black information...
That's BLM radio. It's up above that.
Need money for the...
There it is. It's buried in the noise. Okay, here it is. It's just overrun with this. It's overrun. This is a test woman is overrun with this Spanish station. It's because it's night and it's DX. Yeah, she's in there. She's back. So I did hear back from the seller, and he said he's currently working on the noise issue. So we should hear something, hopefully, before the video is released.